Sony and Marvel Studios finally made a deal, and Spider-Man is coming back to the MCU!
Spider-Man does whatever a Spider-Man does. Can he swing from a web? Yes, he can. He's the man. Look out! Here comes Spider-Man!
Thank you, Sony, for playing nice and just letting Spider-Man go back home and making a deal with Marvel so that you can both just play nice and play well together. I wish everyone could play well together. Looking at you, Fox. Spider-Man joining the MCU has a lot of big things around it. Now, Spider-Man isn't solely going back to Marvel Studios. Sony still owns him and have the creative direction of him, but overall Marvel is doing what they want with him. Sony still owns them, but they're sharing. Instead of one of them taking their ball and going home, they're going to share and play nice, which is great. That has a lot of big implications for the MCU in general, not just production-wise, but story-wise, character-wise. In the MCU, there's a lot of big things that this could change. I'm actually kind of worried about it. Spider-Man is one of Marvel's biggest superheroes in comics, in the movies. He's kind of their Spider-Man's kind of their golden boy, or was until the MCU came up. So having him back, I'm kind of worried that Marvel will let Spider-Man overshadow everyone else. Probably not. That probably won't happen. Marvel's done a great job of giving everyone their spotlight and giving everyone their equal due, and showing off the lesser-known heroes like Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Doctor Strange. That's been one of their strengths, is that they're building up these characters that we didn't really know about unless you're a hardcore Marvel Comics fan. So we can see these other superheroes aside from Spider-Man. But bringing Spider-Man back, I am worried that he'll overshadow them. I don't want that to happen. Spider-Man, when I was a kid, was my favorite superhero, because really all we had for superhero movies was Spider-Man and X-Men. And Wolverine was awesome, but Spider-Man was cool. So he was my favorite. And then MCU came up, and probably Agent Coulson is my favorite superhero. Yes, he is a superhero. He's an Avenger. My big fear is that Spider-Man will overshadow the rest. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, but there's a small part of me that's just a little bit worried. The other big implication is how he will affect the movies. They're going to introduce Spider-Man into the MCU in another movie before they give him his own movie. The big rumor is that it's going to be Civil War, which makes sense because Spider-Man actually plays a huge role in the Civil War comics. Could they have given Spider-Man's role to someone else in Civil War in the movie? Yes. By the time we get there in 2017, we're going to have a huge roster of superheroes to add into that movie if that's the direction they go. We're going to have so many Inhumans and so many superheroes going to be brought in just with that aspect alone, because that's how they brought in Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch is as Inhumans, and the Inhumans are being brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Any one of those heroes, any one of these news heroes, could have taken the role that Spider-Man has in the comics and done it themselves. But being able to have Spider-Man do it himself, that's pretty awesome. And since it's likely that Spider-Man will join Civil War, that actually, for me, brings up a lot of questions I have about the movie. In the comics of the comics, I'm talking about just the movie. So in Civil War, it's Iron Man versus Captain America and their respective teams. S.H.I.E.L.D. plays a huge part in it. S.H.I.E.L.D. backs Tony Stark in Civil War. And at this point, we know that S.H.I.E.L.D. it's not at all what it used to be. It's being run by Coulson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't see Coulson backing the events of Civil War. He's director, so at this point, he would be the one getting behind Tony Stark and backing him up. I don't see that for Coulson's character. In the show, he's not really loving the job of director. There's a good chance that he'll step down and someone else will step up. There's a good chance that it would be Tony Stark or Maria Hill. In the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, we saw Maria Hill, and we heard a phone call she had with Pepper Potts that her and Tony Stark are kind of privatizing world security. They're kind of making their own S.H.I.E.L.D. after the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Hydra. So it's very likely that one of them will soon step up and take over S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that would be awesome if Maria Hill did it, because then we'd have Colby Smulders in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If Tony Stark did it, that would also be awesome, because then we would have Robert Downey Jr. in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who he said many times that he would love to be in the show. So there's a lot of questions that it brings up with Spider-Man entering it. It makes Civil War feel a little closer. It's not coming out to 2017, and for the past while, my focus has been on Age of Ultron, because that's the next one coming out. That's one I'm really excited for. And then after that, it's the beginning of Phase 3. We have Ant-Man, and then we have the others. But apparently, Civil War is not going to come out until 2017. So we've got a while. But having that detail of Spider-Man joining it, that's a huge detail. So it makes it feel closer. It makes it feel more solid. It makes it feel like less of a, oh, it's so far away. No, it's in your face. This is what I've been thinking about Spider-Man in the MCU, Spider-Man in Civil War, and just Civil War and S.H.I.E.L.D. and the MCU in general. I've already admitted I love thinking about the MCU. It's great. So what do you think about Spider-Man joining the MCU? Let me know in the comments. Get me on Facebook and Twitter. And subscribe to my channel so we can geek out some more. But until then, have fun.